I read the book cover to cover, and it really was brilliantly funny. So, what inspired you to write this now?
My agent, whom you may remember I acknowledged for being such a pest, she kept kind of nudging me to do this. She kept urging me to write, you know, there's the stories, and then there's the sort of the Zen undercurrent, the Zen fable that recurs throughout and that is rewritten to accommodate different stages in my life and career. So really, she set up a meeting with HarperCollins. I was the least convinced that it was a good idea until they offered me, they said, look, we'd like you to do this. I said, let me write a few pages and see if it sounds like me and not like somebody's writing. And I sent the first 20 pages to Carl Reiner, who created The Dick Van Dyke Show and directed Steve Martin's first few movies and all that. And he was very encouraging, and he was really the reason I kept going and signed the deal, and it's there.
What inspired you to start meditating in the first place?
My temper. A bit of a hothead.
Was it a big problem? It was like the hothead showing up a lot?
It was a big problem to me. I think some people probably who were friends in my early 20s especially would have said, oh yeah, my mother actually did say, when somebody said, oh, he had a hot temper, you'd never know it, and she'd go, you'd know it. If you raised him, you'd know it. So, you know, there were a few apartment walls with holes in them from when I just lost it. But it was always directed either at sheetrock or or at myself. I mean, I was always just very judgmental of myself and critical and all that. Some of that's good, I think, in any of us, but that was why I started. I'd always been drawn to Eastern philosophy from my teens, having been brought up Catholic and just not finding that provided me with answers that I thought worked. So Eastern philosophy was interesting to me. The practice of meditation I saw as a possible way to be more in touch with whatever it was that was making me such a hothead. And it did, it worked.
Is there a type of meditation that you do?
I do TM only because that's the training I took years ago, and it's worked for me. I think meditation is meditation. It's the practice of it, whether it's a mantra like I use, or it's your breath, or the flicker of a flame, or a word. I used to, before I took the TM training, just use the word slower, which worked. It was the discipline of it and committing to it.
Are you not allowed to tell people your mantra? Because you didn't mention it through the whole book, and I was waiting to find out.
I've never told anybody. I mean, they say that you should keep it as something that's private to you. I've never told anyone.
Yeah.
I did, as I wrote, I did look it up online, because you can, you can Google anything, and I just wanted to make sure it didn't mean I'm Satan's bitch or something like that. And it didn't. And I was, whew. Imagine you're spending 20 minutes twice a day going,
that would suck.
I'm Satan's bitch, I'm Satan's bitch, I'm Satan's bitch.
Well, it would do something to your energy, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then when I die, I find out the whole Catholic thing was right, and St. Peter's going, oh, we have to talk.
As a healer myself, if you can get your message across with humor, I'm down with that.
One of the nicest things that I've had happen is people have been writing on that in that Bergeron book at AOL.com address we put in there, that they've like started meditating, or they Steve-O from Jackass, who was on Dancing with the Stars, he's sent me a picture of him with a meditation book, just to prove to me that he started meditating after he read this.
But don't you think humor is a great way to
absolutely
to kind of slip in a message?
It's a great way to keep your life in perspective, I think. I mean, I can't imagine my own life without a sense of sort of leavening humor in it, even when I've been at my most depressed in some ways. I mean, when I was unemployed and didn't know where the next check was coming from, or if there'd be one. I had this, it was when I found my sense of humor still intact that I started sort of coming back from that.
Had you not written before? What did that process look like?
Most of it was as I first wrote it. The only real substantial change was there's a chapter, it's about me and my friends co-hosting the Emmys last year, and what a disaster that was.
That was painful.
Yeah, it was
fabulous and painful.
Oh, it was. But
in the book, I didn't mean
no,
that.
In life, it was even more painful. Let me tell you, it was like the entire business put on a rubber glove and asked me to bend over. But it provided me, and even that night, I knew this is going to be great for the book. I'm standing on stage. Heidi Klum and I are completely silent, waiting for the guys to wrap up their thing. I know it's dying. I mean, I could just tell. I mean, you can hear tumbleweed actually rolled by. Crickets I could hear in the background. And I thought, well, this would be good for the book. And ultimately, that was the chapter that tied all of the thoughts together about the value of being present, the value of showing up for your life and being in the moment, the now of it. And all of that paid to everything I had said, because if I couldn't have on that very next night gone in and hosted Dancing with the Stars live after that debacle of the Emmys, well, what value is everything that I was talking about meditating, about being open to things, about not judging, in the moment what's good luck and bad. I
mean, you'd had 30 years of meditation background leading up to that night.
Yeah.
Was it still, did you find moments that were challenging?
I was meditating backstage, and I opened my eyes after meditating for a few minutes, and Ryan Seacrest was looking at me, going, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm meditating." He goes, "Oh, I gotta learn to do that." I said, "Yeah, especially on a night like this." The nice thing is when people who've read it say, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it would be funny, but I didn't expect that I'd get all the other stuff out of it about the Zen aspect, if you will. And that to me was important, because otherwise it's like a meal of cotton candy. I mean, it's just, a bunch of funny stories, it's fine, but I needed it to have a little bit more meat to it. Or for you pure Buddhists, tofu.
Was there any surprising reaction? Anything that was a little out of the norm in terms of feedback from the book? One of my favorite, actually, I have sort of a masochistic enjoyment of being eviscerated in the press. I got a few 5-star reviews. This was just a really venomous 1-star review about, well, I thought he's pretty funny on Dancing with the Stars, but this is a pure exercise in ego, and he apparently thinks the universe revolves around him, and I used to like him, but now I don't. I added the for emphasis. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. What did you think when you're getting a memoir? It's who's it going to be about, So that broke me up. And it was from my mother, too. That's the thing that hurt. Hi, I'm Tom Bergeron, and I was kindly given this opportunity to offer you suggestions on what you should do to enjoy your summer reading, and I thought, well, that's an opportunity that I probably shouldn't pass up, but I'm so embarrassed about, just selling my own book, because, I mean, that's kind of crass, but then again, I got 2 kids in college.